Welcome everyone to SkillCat's weekly blog post. Today we're going to be interviewing Anthony Spagnoli. He's the Director of Testing and Education at NATE. And for those of you who don't know NATE, it's widely considered to be the gold star of HVAC certification. So we're super excited to have Anthony on the blog today. Thanks for being here, Anthony.
Oh, glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, cool. I think it'd be good just to start off kind of with your background. If you could just share a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I started working at NATE out of college. My background was political science and philosophy, which doesn't seem like it really lends itself to HVAC certification, but it's actually the political science side. A lot of the statistics we do for surveys and stuff like that is actually very similar to what we do in the certification industry to review exam items for their efficiency. So I started at NATE back in 2010 as a customer service rep, and started assisting then the VP of certifications, some of the exam development, found that I kind of had a knack for it, and then stuck with NATE for 10 years now, and just kind of climbing the ladder to where I'm at now.
That's awesome. Yeah, out of curiosity, I mean, if you studied political science, what made you even look into HVAC? I mean, I get the statistics is similar, but it seems like it's kind of a world apart.
Yeah, it really was that, I graduated and was just looking for really any kind of job after I graduated. The economy wasn't in the best place back then. So I just kind of ended up with NATE, an interview there, and just really enjoyed the people, enjoyed the industry, and just, stuck with it from there. So it was kind of a happy accident to end up in the HVAC industry.
Yeah, that makes sense. How did you find NATE? I mean, was it just like a random job ad you found? Did you know someone there?
Yeah, no, it was a random job posting on ASAE, the American Society of Association Executives. They have a job board there for just the different trade associations around the DC area. And so I found the job posting there on the blog.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, in 10 years, you certainly know what you're doing. So I kind of wanted to ask you, what do you see as kind of like NATE's role in the HVAC industry? Like, how do you guys see yourselves fitting in?
So historically, we always were there for the certification and recognizing technician competency. So that's really what we did as a certification body. We didn't really do any of the training or anything like that. We pretty much just certified technicians, verified their skills. More recently, we have moved into developing technicians as well. And we got feedback from the industry that was needed. So our board changed our kind of vision statement, what NATE's purpose was, and expanded that beyond just recognizing technicians and into developing them as well. So that's what we're doing with our new Certified HVAC Professional program. We took the same content from the exams, but broke it down into smaller, more manageable pieces, and then linked that to online training and put that all on a portal on our website, really to help technicians as they get into the industry, instead of seeing NATE as this kind of goal you hit at 2-3 years into your career, that you can really start with NATE from the beginning and use NATE's exams and the online training we link you to really develop your career.
That's awesome. And I mean, have you been seeing a lot of workers start that NATE program kind of from the get-go?
Yeah, it just launched July 1st, that new program. So we haven't seen a whole lot yet. We're excited for the fall when people get back into kind of the training season. But yeah, NATE has had a lot of success with our Ready to Work and HVAC support technician certificate exams. So they're kind of more entry-level exams that we developed a couple of years ago to help technicians really get into the industry, to have a NATE exam that they can start from the beginning with that Ready to Work exam. And then there's an exam kind of in between Ready to Work and the actual certification exams called the Heating and Cooling Support Technician. So it's kind of the same topics that's covered in the NATE exam, but at a more fundamental level.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the NATE Ready to Work exam. I talk to a lot of HVAC technicians and hiring companies every day, and pretty much all of them say if a guy has the NATE Ready to Work exam and his EPA 608, they'll take him. So, I mean, you guys did a great job with that. And does that training program, does that really kind of prepare people for the NATE Ready to Work? And like, what does that training program cover?
So the new training program would prepare somebody to take, it's an actual certification, our Certified HVAC Professional. It's our new credential. So those training courses would be linked to each one of those new exams. So it has 5 exams during that certification, as opposed to the traditional pathway, which had 2. And then the exams are broken down by topic area, like HVAC fundamentals, electrical and controls, airflow and comfort, and then installation and service. So they would take those specific training courses for each one of those exam modules. And then once they pass all 5, they would earn the certification.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. And about how long does it take people to pass all 5?
It's self-paced, so it's really, how much you want to really grind it out. We allowed 6 months in between each exam, so you could take a full 2 years to get it if you needed to, or you could probably get it done in, 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how much time you're putting into it.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Well, I guess kind of off of that, what is your philosophy when you're really creating these NATE certifications or exams? Like, how do you kind of look at it in terms of like creating a prepared worker?
Mm-hmm. So what we do is we do what we call a job task analysis. That's where we sit down with subject matter experts from the industry, kind of from each sector of the industry, so manufacturers, distributors, educators, contractors, the certified techs themselves, and you analyze what the job actually is. So you go through, for a technician to do this as a competent technician, what are the things they need to know? And then we have a list of topics from that, which we call our CATES, the knowledge areas of technician expertise. And then we survey those out to a larger kind of contractor community, usually by email. Some of our contractors have probably gotten them before where, we ask you to rate these different job tasks and job knowledge areas. And then that's what we use to develop the exam to make sure that the exam is relevant to the technician's career. So we verify these are the job tasks that they have, this is the job knowledge that they need, and then we're able to make the exam from that. And then writing the questions, we always want to we try as best we can to be as direct and making sure we're asking a single question. We don't want these multi-part, multi-answer. We don't want any questions where it's, A and B, B and C or anything like that. We want, a straightforward question with a single answer.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And I mean, is there a way for people looking to get into the HVAC industry or even experienced techs to see those CATE kind of criteria? Or do you guys keep those internal and then put them in the exams and training you do?
No, they're available on our website, natex.org, under the technicians tab, and then there's a section for what exams we have, our exams offered, and under that, you'll be able to download the CATE for any of our exams.
Cool. I mean, honestly, it seems like if a technician can go and look at kind of that CATE list, they can see what they really need to know to be, competent or ready to go into the field. Do you think that's pretty accurate? Yeah,
we do suggest that technicians review them as they're preparing for the exam to make sure that they, feel comfortable with all the topics covered by the exam.
Okay, cool. Kind of off of that then, do you have advice for people really looking to get into HVAC? I know your new program's focusing on people who are just starting out. Do you have any advice for anyone who's listening who, wants to get into it, but maybe doesn't have any experience?
Yeah, a lot of times contractors hire based on profile and not necessarily technical skills. So they're looking for someone who's going to be a good employee, and then they'll just teach you the skills that you need to know. So, I would say if you're looking to get into it, either, find some training courses if you wanted to do that on your own, or you can look for contractors in your area that might have an apprentice or training kind of program. And, that'd be a good way to start getting your job experience. And then I would obviously suggest you take some NATE exams along the way to benchmark your progress.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, for when you said they're mainly looking for people to have a profile of a good employee, like what do you think people should really be emphasizing in interviews or in emails they send out or anything like that?
I know from talking to contractors, they're usually looking for technicians with good customer service skills and communication skills, professionalism, punctuality, all those kind of things that you would normally expect in a good employee. And then the technical skills, they usually do that as something, you can learn, but some of the other kind of more intangible aspects of employees are looking for, that might be more what they're hiring on that profile.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I was curious, do you know why a lot of people tend to kind of neglect the customer service side? Like they don't think about it much when they're going into the industry. Do you know why that might be?
I don't. Most contractors I've talked to, they understand the importance of, good communication skills and good customer service, because obviously you want to have this person be a repeat customer. You don't want to go in there, you might do a great job fixing their equipment, but, if you were rough or otherwise unprofessional while you're doing it, that might not be a repeat customer. But I think most contractors do prioritize, I would say, the customer service aspect of it.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So have you seen workers that have transitioned from other skilled trades? Maybe it's like a plumber becoming a HVAC technician or an oil and gas worker, or have you seen much kind of transition between them? Because it seems like a lot of the skills transfer over.
Yeah, no, we do see that. Plumbers or electricians, they'll add HVAC onto what they already know. So they might do plumbing and HVAC, electrical and HVAC. So really any of those trades with technical skills, particularly the electrical side, that'll transfer over well to HVAC.
That makes sense. And I mean, do you have any advice for people looking to transfer? I mean, is it similar to what you already said for the new HVAC techs? Find a good course to go through, focus on the soft skills, or is there kind of a different path for someone who may already have experience in a skilled trade?
Yeah, they might, instead of, kind of starting at the beginning, they might want to review, kind of what training courses are offered in their area or online and kind of gauge where they're at. I know some of the online trainers, they'll actually have like an aptitude kind of test that you can take. They'll tell you what you're strong in, what you're weak in, and then suggest courses for you. A program like that, if you don't want to, start necessarily at the beginning because you have some of the technical skills that you already have, that might be another path to go is, just fill in the rest that you need.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, they already know so much. You don't really want to just repeat what you already know. It's kind of a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah.
So in your eyes, and I think you're a great person to ask this just because obviously you're in charge of all the testing and education at NATE, but in your eyes, what makes a technician well-trained and capable on like the hard skills side? Obviously customer service is important, but do you have like 4 or 5 skills that you think are critical for someone to learn if they're trying to get into HVAC right now?
Mm-hmm. Safety, being aware of, general safety concerns, I'd say is a very important skill to have. That's why our Ready to Work exam focuses heavily on that. Before you start any of this, make sure you're doing it safely, in particular the electrical safety. And because of how kind of complex certain systems are getting, I would say the electrical skills are another one that are really important kind of as a fundamental, making sure you understand the electrical side of it.
Okay. So safety and kind of electrical skills, would you say would be like the top 2 things for people to start learning right now?
Yeah, I would say that's probably a really good place to start. And then obviously in HVAC, you get into some of the more specific things, airflow, some of the more mechanical side of things, but probably having a good safety background and getting well versed in electrical, as that's usually where technicians struggle, I would say it would be a good place to start.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one question that I've been wondering lately is there's obviously a lot of science behind HVAC. I mean, you can go into the thermodynamics of it all. You can really get pretty deep into it, but what do you think people need to know on the HVAC side to start? Like if I just learned how to change whatever, an evaporator or a condenser out, or to do basic, preventative maintenance, like, do I really need to know all the science in your opinion?
I mean, just to do your job, probably not. But if you really want to make it a career, I would say it's good to really understand what's happening and what's going on. I'd say that's probably, something that would differentiate, just kind of a good tech from, an amazing tech who's going to make a great career out of this. Is really being curious about, what you're doing and, really understanding it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then also in your eyes, what do you think the industry's thoughts are on kind of technical colleges? It seems to split between people I talk to. Some people think they're great. Other people think you don't really need to go. They can just kind of train you up from the start. Have you, what is your thoughts on that?
From what I've heard and seen and talked to people, I would say it's probably both. That it really depends on the technician themselves and how they like to learn. That there are some techs that are going to succeed by learning in a classroom because that's how they learn well. And then there's other techs that, they just need to go out and start doing it, and that's how they learn. So I really would think it's both. It really depends on the technician and their learning style.
Okay, so more individual based than necessarily a right path.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Well, the next question is kind of a big one for you. What do you think the future looks like for the HVAC industry? Like 5, 10 years down the line, what do you think the space is going to be like? Because you've already been in here for 10 years, so I'm guessing you've seen a lot of change already. So what do you think the future looks like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good time to become an HVAC tech. I know everything we've looked at from, the Bureau of Labor Statistics constantly show that this industry is going to continue growing, that there's going to be more and more HVAC technician jobs out there over the years. And as equipment, becomes more sophisticated, the skills and everything that those technicians need will likely increase. And just, from industry changing kind of standpoint, we're moving into eventually likely phasing out HFC refrigerants and moving on to, those replacement refrigerants that might have, slightly flammable properties. So, learning how to deal with that, working with that new equipment, there's going to be a lot of new opportunities in the future.
Yeah, that makes sense. And out of curiosity, do you see technology really blending in and kind of integrating more with HVAC? I mean, obviously in the past
Mhm.
10 years, I'm sure there's been a lot. Maybe you could tell me about that too, but also how you see
Yeah.
that kind of going towards the future.
Yeah, and that is, an increasing demand for HVAC technicians to be versed in, that, what do they call it, the Internet of Things, the connected home, because we are seeing that with, newer thermostats that are, linked to Wi-Fi, have an app on your phone, you can control your thermostat while you're not, so we are seeing an increase in that, and a lot of times, the homeowner is going to expect the HVAC technician to be able to, show them how to use that new thermostat, and we've seen techs start taking those training courses.
That makes sense. And I mean, is it training courses more on, I guess, like, I don't know if it'd be network design. Like, is that typically what it's on, or is there like, what areas should people be focusing on to be prepared for that future?
Yeah, I think it's mostly about proper install and just getting it connected to their, existing home network that they might have.
Okay. So they don't really have to go that deep. It tends to just be more
Mhm.
understanding how Wi-Fi networks are set up in the home
Yeah.
and basically how to connect another device to it.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. That makes a lot of sense. This one is an interesting one. Have you seen a worker shortage in the HVAC industry?
Yes, that's actually, a constant topic among contractors is they're always looking for new people. That there is, and not just in the HVAC industry, but a lot of similar industries that there is this, kind of skill shortage. They don't have enough skilled techs or enough people getting into this trade for the future and really for the increase of techs that we expect to have. That's why I said it's a great industry to get into because you will be in demand.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, why do you think that there is such a worker shortage? I mean, it just seems odd given the
Mhm.
high pay that an HVAC technician can earn right out of the gate, doesn't require a college degree. Like it
Mhm.
really seems like a field that is easy to get into and that has a lot of benefits to it. So I'm just curious why you think there is that shortage.
Yeah. There's probably multiple reasons. I know a lot of it, can stem from, kind of really, kids in high school getting pushed to always pursue a 4-year college degree and kind of almost, a negative connotation to, not going to college and getting a job like this. But I think we are seeing that reverse now as people realize, these are just as good as the jobs you would get with a 4-year degree without having to spend 4 years getting that degree. So I think that is changing, but I think that was some of the driving force behind it was, a sort of pressure to move to a 4-year college degree and, not thinking that these types of jobs were good, well-paying jobs when they are.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you know how long the worker shortage has been around for? Like, has this been
Um,
a problem they've been talking about since you joined the field? Is it really in the past couple years, or is it kind of a perennial problem?
Yeah, no, it's been a topic of discussion for a while. More so in looking at future trends as well as right now. Really seeing the increased demand with the number of technicians joining the workforce. That's where that shortage is coming from. But no, it's been a topic of discussion probably since I've been at Nate.
Okay.
10 years.
All right. So it's really been around quite
Mhm.
a while. Gotcha. That makes sense. And I mean, the companies that you talk to when they're struggling to hire HVAC technicians, like where are they going to find them? Like, say someone new wanted to join the industry, where can they, I guess, meet companies who are looking to hire,
Mhm.
or even just make connections in the industry?
Yeah, I know some contractors will work with local technical schools, trade and technical schools that they'll, kind of, the school will get with them when they have a graduating class and help with some job placement. And there are a lot of kind of job placement programs out there like that that'll help, a technician who's currently in school or, getting a degree in, some sort of HVAC related field to place them in with a job.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so technical college. Yeah, okay, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. I know I kind of touched on it earlier. I'd be really curious to hear from you how the industry has changed in the past 10 years. Like just generally speaking, what you've seen kind of evolve over time.
Yeah, it really is, becoming, I think the industry is getting more recognition as kind of a STEM industry and, having people realize the type of technical skills that these technicians need now, especially with the newer equipment coming out, really that the industry, I think, as a whole is starting to become even more kind of professional, and more highly skilled as, at the time I've been here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, 10 years ago, was it pretty, I'm guessing the industry was smaller. Was it also pretty, I guess, kind of disconnected? Like, was there not many organizations like NATE, or obviously NATE's been around for more than 10 years, but was there not many kind of governing bodies almost, or certification people, or how did that look?
Yes, NATE was founded in 1997 and was really driven by manufacturers looking to kind of model themselves after the automotive industry. ASE, Automotive Service Excellence, really kind of modeled NATE as the HVAC equivalent of that. So that was 97, so we've been around for a while now. No, but there's always been other organizations representing technicians for the entire time I've been there. Others like ACCA or RCS. There's always been a decent trade organizations for HVAC.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, cool. Any kind of final words of wisdom for anyone looking to get into HVAC?
Yeah, if you have some questions, need some advice, or looking for training opportunities in your area, you can definitely come to natex.org or email us at asknate@natex.org. We'd be happy to help you. You can check out our new CHP5 program, online training, modularized, kind of exams, and work to earn a certification.
Awesome. And yeah, everyone who's listening, I can honestly attest to the quality of NATE certifications and what the industry thinks of them. They really carry a lot of weight when you have these certificates, certifications, whatever it may be. So I do highly encourage you to go check out their website, and excited to have you on today, Anthony. For those of you who haven't heard yet, we are hosting a virtual career fair. It's going to be free for companies and technicians, and you can find out more information in the blog post below. Thanks for being on, Anthony, and it was great talking to you.